Firmino, who has a muscular injury, was not included in the match day squad for Saturday's game, and Klopp said he will not feature against the Spaniards as Liverpool look to overturn a 3-0 deficit from the first leg. He said he will not be ready for Tuesday, and the rest will see, said Klopp, whose side face Wolves in the final Premier League game on May the 12th. Happens to be next Sunday. Divock Origi, who grabbed the 66-minute winner at Newcastle, could start against Barca, while Daniel Sturridge, who started on Saturday, would be another option. Where does this leave Liverpool quickly against Barcelona come Tuesday?
Well, I like talking from a sincere point of view before I start analysing. I think it's basically over for them, but in football, nothing is impossible. Names don't play football. That's the simple truth. Players do. And even if your pedigree in competitions helps at times, but you have to also have a fair share of good names to put it up. I looked at Daniel Sturridge in the game against Newcastle yesterday, and it was terrible. The wasted chances from Daniel Sturridge was something else. And I was asking myself, sometimes I would just be shouting, this is your chance. This is your chance to actually show yourself, to give yourself, at least at the end of this season, if you get Klopp.
After spending 2 years on the bench,
no,
everything gets effect.
No, it's true. But the end of the season is coming close. And Liverpool, of course, cannot continue adding players without sending some away. So some names will have to leave. So for me, I think the game against Barcelona would be tough for them. I don't know how they're going to fight back. Now, looking at the availabilities, there will be no Firmino, there will be no Salah. How is the front going to pair? I'm already imagining Shaqiri.
Technically, they've not ruled him out.
Yes, that's true. Because it's not, of course, a normal injury. It has to do with his head. So something might happen and he might get to play. But I think he might even start from the bench. That is, if he gets a chance. So who would be starting? Maybe a Shaqiri. Of course, Mane. Will Origi be able to start? Origi looks like a glorified Alex Iwobi. What I mean by that is, Alex Iwobi for me... I think
it's better off coming off the bench.
Yes, that's just everything I wanted to say. Alex Iwobi doesn't do well when it comes for me finishing, but the passes and everything. So let's say I pans out for them, but for me, I think it's a very huge blow for Liverpool. I hope that they'll be able to do something against Barcelona, but for me, that tie is almost over.
And to La Liga, when newly crowned La Liga champions Barcelona fell to a shock defeat by Celta Vigo after resting Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez, and Gerard Piqué. Max Gomez opened the scoring for Celta after they had a goal ruled out by the VAR. VAR later awarded Celta a penalty, and Iago Aspas converted from the spot. Barca will play Liverpool on Tuesday in the Champions League semi-final second leg and hold a 3-0 advantage ahead of their trip to Anfield. Ernesto Valverde's side, who were also without even Rakitic, Sergio Busquets, and Jordi Alba, lost Ousmane Dembele to injury early on. The result saw Celta go 5 points clear of the relegation zone. If you rest the entire squad, it means that you are ready for Liverpool come Tuesday.
That's the future of Barcelona. Without this particular players that were rested for Liverpool, that's what we get to see in the future when there is no Barcelona to help.
And of course, over now to the Bundesliga, where Bayern Munich went 4 points clear at the top of the Bundesliga with victory over 196 as Borussia Dortmund dropped points at Werder Bremen. Goals from Robert Lewandowski, Leon Goretzka, and Bayern, who are seeking a 7th consecutive league title, a comfortable lead at the break. Frank Ribery sealed the win late on with a clinical finish, while Dortmund's draw 2-2 with Werder Bremen despite taking a 2-goal lead. Christian Pulisic had given Dortmund the advantage after 6 minutes with a fine solo goal, and Paco Alcácer doubled their lead before the break. But Werder Bremen hit back with 2 goals in 5 minutes from Kevin Mowad and Claudio Pizarro. He's still playing football, who at 40 years and 113 days extended his record as the Bundesliga's oldest goal scorer. The draw leaves Dortmund with an even steeper task if they are to catch Bayern in the race for the Bundesliga title. And Nico Kovac league leaders will take on RB Leipzig away and Eintracht Frankfurt at home in the final 2 games, while Dortmund faced Fortuna Düsseldorf at home and Borussia Mönchengladbach away. At the Allianz Arena on Saturday, Hannover pulled a goal back through Jonathan's penalty awarded by VAR, but a half-time substitute was sent off for a second bookable offense 4 minutes later. It was Bayern's 14th successive win in all competition against Hannover, who had keeper Michael Esser to thank for keeping the scoreline respectable. The 31-year-old thwarted Kingsley Coman and Thomas Muller in the first half before pulling off impressive save from Muller and David Alaba in the second half. Alaba came out in the course of the week. You say he didn't play for Nigeria because coaches were asking him to pay money for the under-17s in 2007. That was why he didn't play for Nigeria, the Golden Eaglets. And of course, meanwhile, Frank Ribery will leave Bayern Munich at the end of the season when his contract expires. The club have confirmed Ribery, 26, has won 21 major honors with Bayern since joining from Marseille in 2007, including 8 Bundesliga titles, the Champions League, Super Cup, and the Club World Cup. He said, when I came to Bayern, it was a dream come true. It won't be easy to say goodbye, but we must never forget what we achieved together. Ribery told the club's website the former France international would join fellow veteran forward Arjen Robben in departing the Bavarian Giants this summer, with both set to receive the honor of a testimonial in 2020. Chairman of the club, Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, said Frank and Arjen are great players. FC Bayern owes a lot to both of them, and we will give them a wonderful and emotional farewell. They've helped shape FC Bayern's most successful decade with fantastic football. Bayern Munich are closing in on their 7th consecutive Bundesliga title as they top Borussia Dortmund by 4 points with 2 games to go. You want to say Dortmund have already given them the league. And of course, the farewell on the horizon for those men, Frank Ribery and Arjen Robben.
Well, first, for the German Bundesliga, I think it's something I feel has ended a long time ago, and I've stated it at times ever since Dortmund even got on level on points with Bayern Munich. I knew it was over right there for them, getting to the league title and looking at the fact that they got in some poor form. At some point, injury got to them. So I think it's over. It's been over since for me. Ever since Bayern left the Champions League and we're only focused on that league, everything was done with. Because if they were still in the Champions League, just maybe you think they'll be a little confused because they've kissed this title too much. But right now, that's all they have, and maybe the DFB final, DFB Pokal Cup final. But for the likes of Ribery and Arjen Robben, fantastic set of players they were. I think when Ribery was 24, he actually joined Bayern. I used to think that time he was actually much older because of his face. Yes, the sky he has on his face. But pretty young man at that point, was able to move on from France over now to Bayern to stake a huge claim for himself.
12 years already.
I tell you, won about 21 majors, major titles he did, including the Champions League. A lot of things these players have won. Same with Arjen Robben, moved over from Chelsea to Real Madrid. At Real Madrid at some point, we thought it was over for his career, but went to Bayern. He resuscitated Arjen Robben. The injuries didn't come calling the way they did at Chelsea and Real Madrid, and he did a lot for his career. What a way to end it for both teams, for both players. I just do hope that they would be moving on to better things at 36. I would imagine he would still want to play. Maybe he would want to go over to China to maybe try his luck with Shanghai Shenhua, one of those Shenhua teams, as the case may be, or Shanghai Aruan F.
Yeah, you already did marketing for him already.
No, no, of course, he's still a decent player. I mean, in terms of if a team like Crystal Palace would actually manage that kind of player because of what he still brings. If he stays fit, I tell you, top striker, because of what he brings to the table. So I wish them well. They've done a lot for football, and maybe in the future, when they get to retire, I do hope they would also be able to inspire young ones. I'm tired of seeing them become coaches. Maybe do something else administratively, get to the academies to see how I can churn young stars. Ribery, for me, a player who fought a lot of things. At some point, he had some issues with the press and even the media, as much as some investigations and all that over him, and some issues he also. I was able to push from that. Arjen Robben fought a lot of injuries, some career-threatening ones at Chelsea. Good one to see them ending it this way, and they're ending on a high. It's not like they're doing bad things and they're sending them away from the club. They're sending them out like players who actually had massive contributions to the team.
To the French Ligue 1, where Edison Cavani missed a late penalty as Ligue 1 champions Paris Saint-Germain were held to a draw at home to Nice. Cavani's spot kick given by VAR after Dante's foul on Neymar was saved by Nice goalkeeper Walter Benitez. Ignatius Ganago had given the visitors a surprise lead in the first minute of the second half. Neymar equalized from the penalty spot following Patrick Bonner's foul on Angel Di Maria, but the hosts had to settle for a point. Thomas Tuchel's PSG side have won only one of their last 7 games in all competitions, a run which includes a penalty shootout loss to Rennes in the French Cup final. Have won only one of their last 7 competitions in all matches. Do you expect a clear out in PSG next season? And of course, which is the big name you will not be surprised if he leaves the club?
Personally, I do think that the only thing PSG could can win these days is just the League One trophy. Well, that's the League One title. That's the only thing I think they can get to win. I don't know if they do not have if the managers are not really good for them to get to win other things, or the players are not the players, they don't have the mentality. I don't know exactly what the problem is, but seem like they just know how to win the league on. That's only what they seem to do. But so far, I do not think next year it's going to be as easy as it was for them this season. But then it was a good season for them. They took a trophy a long time ago. We all saw that coming. But so far, it's not a good outing for them to. Yes, you won the trophy, the title, but you seem to lose virtually all your games, and even also lost in the final of the Coupe de France Cup so far. So I think it's a poor outing for them. Towards the end of the season, it was a very poor outing for them. But at the start, they were brilliant.
And of course, over now to the Arsenal game, and of course the team is out already. Aubameyang, Lacazette, and what's the name? Mkhitaryan leading Arsenal up front. So for Unai Emery, say they have just one target, and that target is to finish top 4 in the Premier League, not going through the back door.
My message is the same for the team and for the supporters. Our first competition continuing being the Premier League. We are going to play against Brighton the last match home, and if we win, we are going to play the last match early with the possibility to be in the top 4. And for us, continuing being the Premier League, the first competition where we want to do something important this year.
And of course, Arsenal take on Brighton, who have escaped relegation after Cardiff's defeat yesterday. And of course, Chelsea are currently leading 3-0. It's 8 minutes. 89 minutes, they just brought on Gary Cahill, which might just be his last official game for Chelsea at home. He said just before this game that it is hard to respect Maurizio Sarri because of how the man has treated him in his supposed last season in charge. In his last season as a player for Chelsea. That he has given his all for the past 6-7 years. But the way he has been treated this season, it will be hard for him to respect him. Quickly, your thought on that?
Well, I think it's it might be a little unfair. I want to look at it from the side of a player. For a player who has been in this team for a while and did a lot of things to actually move to Chelsea, if you consider when he made that switch, I think it looked a little unfair. Every player gets a bad time, but even at that, there are some games I feel Gary Cahill could have played and could have started. One negative thing that has affected Sarri this season is the fact that he sticks to one player. If he likes this player, likes this 11, he just sticks there. Come on. And it's a problem. It affected them. I feel Chelsea would have done better this is my sincere opinion. They would have done better this season if some games they did some little rotation, not the whole squad, maybe 3 or 4, swap positions. This is what City tries to do. Pep Guardiola, you might not like him, but Pep Guardiola tries every season to make sure there are 2 or 3 people for each position. Now, with you as a Chelsea, one player can only play as a number 9, cannot draft to the wings. One player can only play as a side midfielder, cannot play at the center. One can only feature at the center, cannot do anything going forward. It's a problem. So I think Gary Cahill has not been treated fairly. For me, I think he has not. Even if it's those little inconsequential games, he should have gotten a chance in the season. But a good one for him that he's even Pogba hits the bar. Good one that he's even coming in at this point in the season. Let's see how it pans out for him next season. I think definitely he's going to leave if Maurizio Sarri stays on.
Doctor, so what should we expect from the Arsenal game? Brighton, they have escaped relegation. Will they come out to play? Is this an edge for Arsenal in their last home game before the season comes to an end?
The point, I think it's disappointing to get to hear Unai Emery at the end of the season coming out to say they want to finish in the top 4. He didn't say that when they were struggling, when the season was at least in the better region.
He said that at some point that they did not finish in the top 4.
What I meant by saying it, in action, on the field of play, they didn't show it. That is the problem that Arsenal had, and now it's just one game to see after this, and you're coming out to say you want to do it and not through the back door. It was the back door you were looking at, the favorable one to go through.
So can you call the game?
Arsenal will get to win it 2-1.
2-1. It's still 1-1, 90 minutes. Man United. Quickly, a prediction, Arsenal game?
Quickly, I just, before I predict, I just permit me, I just hope they will not be very quick to sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But Arsenal would win the game against Brighton, maybe 2-0.
Keep the calls coming through. Let's hear from you before we call it a wrap on the show on the first part, before the second part gets on the way to some transfer news coming out this afternoon. Before then, hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Your name and location, please?
Oh, Tom Striker.
Hello, your name and location?
Coach Arsenal, calling from Ukrika.
Coach Arsenal, welcome to the program.
For over 30 minutes, my battery has run down. All the same, let me react on Liverpool and Barcelona. I think my friend Obina will be cooling himself down. When I told him last time that cost or no cost, Benitez or no Benitez, that when a team wants to win, they will win. Liverpool know what is at stake. They don't think they have Barcelona to play. They come out with all the Arsenal to play Newcastle. And it's not what that has caused them. They have to lose a player. I don't know what will be the outcome of Salah. He will be returning for Barcelona match. But I wish him all the best to return quick. But if he cannot make it, I think Liverpool should just forget about the Champions League and focus on the Premier League. And I wish them to do that by winning the Premier League. I think I'm supporting them. I'm supporting them to do that. Then for Barcelona, we are all seeing the difference between Barcelona and the rest of our team. But it's a very big danger. There's a very big danger waiting Barcelona in the future. Because you have seen it, no Barcelona, no Messi, no Rakitic, no Busquets. And they went and lost to low class as people that have been finding difficult to sustain themselves in the Premier League. So you can see, so it's just because Messi is there and these players are there. As soon as this guy retires from football, I don't know where Barcelona will get those kind of stuff of players they have right now. Over in the hands of Messi. The difference between Barcelona and Messi, if Messi was not in that match would have ended rather goal.
Okay, Coach Arsenal. Thank you so much. Let's hear from other callers. Almost a wrap on the program. Keep the calls coming through. Let's get to hear from you this afternoon. So some transfer news coming out this afternoon. Barcelona are planning a £70 million summer move for Arsenal's France striker Alexander Lacazette. The Spain international goalkeeper David De Gea has been given a week to decide his Man United future. Why Man United will be offered the chance to sign Real Madrid's Costa Rican goalkeeper Keylor Navas amid ongoing uncertainty over the future of De Gea. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, it's top striker, quickly, top striker.
Okay, short and simple, please.
Jurgen Klopp came out today and he said he has been asking the hierarchy of Liverpool what is the rivalry between him and Newcastle, at least to confirm the kind of thing I said last week about Newcastle and Liverpool. Klopp said if Liverpool is not fighting relegation, they are not going for Europa. But the atmosphere from outside the pitch, he has to ask Liverpool people, is there anything they have with Newcastle? Klopp said that. Let me give you the statistics. It has already started.
We don't have enough time.
The only coach that won just one Premier match, and yet he did not win the title. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, first guy.
Your name and location, please. Good afternoon.
My name is Otugo. I'm calling from Alon.
Welcome. Let's hear from you quickly.
Thank you. Please, I want to know the score of Manchester United now.
1-1. 93 minutes. 94 minutes already. 1-1.
Hey.
Okay, thank you. So we're still talking transfers. Man City are set to challenge Barcelona for £65 million. Ajax and Netherlands defender Matthijs de Ligt, who is 19. An agent linked to Arsene Wenger has asked Newcastle United whether they're interested in the former Arsenal manager should Rafa Benitez leave the club, while Chelsea have been asked to honor an agreement with Eden Hazard for him to join Real Madrid after 28-year-old Belgian was promised last summer he could leave for La Liga if he stayed at Stamford Bridge for one more season. While Man United midfielder Juan Mata could be heading back to Spain, where Atletico Bilbao, desperate to sign the 31-year-old who has been offered a one-year deal with option of another season at Old Trafford. Zinedine Zidane has refused to be drawn on speculation linking Man United midfielder Paul Pogba with a move to Real Madrid, as France international Pogba has been told it is now or never to move to Real Madrid. Atlanta United defender Florentin Pogba, elder brother of Paul Pogba, believes something will happen this summer and refuses to rule out a move to Real Madrid or Barcelona for his sibling. But of course, Tottenham boss Mauricio Pochettino has been promised he can make some big signings this summer. They promised him £100 million, while Spurs have joined Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich in the race to sign Ajax and Netherlands midfielder Donny van der Beek. Aston Villa and England and 21 midfielder Jack Grealish has a £60 million buyout clause in his contract, as Grealish has hinted he may seek a move if Aston Villa are not promoted to the Premier League this season. Blackburn are keen to sign former England goalkeeper Joe Hart from Lancashire rivals Burnley right there. And of course, it's a wrap on the show this afternoon. Many thanks to Wisdom Obina, many thanks to Jokers, many thanks to Reliance, many thanks for the callers, for the messages. If not for anything, at least for your heart to do some sports. If not for anything, please, and don't let the weekend weaken you. And please, bye-bye. Enjoy the rest of the program. Emeka Jana and the rest of the guy comes up by 4 p.m. for the other part of the program where they talk everything Nigerian football. Don't forget the big one, Eyimba Rangers right there in Aba.
Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
So good to have you here. Representatives from Daily Income, Engineer Offer Monday. He's the MD CEO, Funny Vision Nigeria Limited. Good to have you here.
Good morning.
Mr. Gabriel Hero, entrepreneur.
Thank you. Good morning.
Engineer Victor Etin. Good to have all of you here.
Good morning.
For the sake of the so many who have not heard this, and I'll be surprised if they haven't, but for the sake of those who haven't, what is Daily Income Stores?
Okay, for those who are tuning in for the first time to this frequency, Daily Income Store is a physical store here. Of course, that all you need to do is to walk into this store to do your own shopping. Of course, and then after your shopping, you have to drop your account details. Why do you have to do that? So that as other people are shopping from that same store, you'll be getting daily income or daily alert. And the good news is that this store sells things that we cannot do without. For example, you are hearing me right now. You cannot stay without not brushing your mouth. You're going to use chewing stick or toothpaste. You cannot stay without not taking your bath. You're going to use solid soap, liquid soap, or solid soap. That means human being daily needs and want cannot be satisfied. All these things are available in Daily Income Stores. Your normal daily needs and want, things you cannot do without. So all you need to do is to walk into Daily Income Stores only once in a year to do your shopping. Then you drop your account details. As other people are shopping after you from the same store, you'll be getting daily income. We are already 13 years in over 100 countries. We are already 7 years in Nigeria. And we are telling you we are holding a big business event because some people don't know about this. That are holding a training to show them how things work. And of course, if you are already hearing me and you're looking forward to have an extra income, looking forward to have a project, for financing a project, you need money to actually take it to a level. We can show you this opportunity. You go to Daily Income Stores, you do your shopping. Of course, you drop your account details. As other people are shopping after you, you'll be getting daily income. So if you're interested to be part of this event, we're going to give you details more soon.
What makes this store different? What's the innovation? What's special about Daily Income Stores?
Honestly speaking, I've been saying this over and over again. What makes us different is this. Traditionally, walk into any store, what you do is that you give money in exchange for goods or services. That's what you do traditionally. And of course, you walk out of the store. Transaction has been completed. But in Daily Income Stores, you don't just give money in exchange for goods or services. The company will give you an opportunity to drop your account details. That's what makes us different. Okay. That's what makes us unique. That's what makes us quite it's called that advancement in technology. That is the innovation about our business.
All right then. So shop and then drop your account
details.
And as people shop after you
in that same particular store, not all the stores.
That's okay. Not all the stores.
Not all the stores.
Okay.
There's a particular store you go to do your shopping. This store is already 7 years in Nigeria.
Mr. Gabriel Hero, how real is this? How true is this? Has this happened to you before?
For me, my experience with Daily Income Stores is phenomenal. And that's because as a business coach and a mentor, I'm always very keen to know the root of everything I'm into, especially when I look at the relationship between myself and the people I'm mentoring. So at Daily Income Stores, I've come to realize that for every budding entrepreneur, they have the necessary business skill that's required of anybody who wants to go out there and make money. And you're not just making money. In today's world, there's what we call sustainable development. And for you to have a sustainable development, you have to think of a sustainable source of income. And Daily Income Source is one store that gives you that guarantee that you can actually make money on a sustainable basis. For example, my personal testimony, when I went to Daily Income Source for the very first time.
Where did you hear them on radio, just like this?
Yeah, already. I was driving. I was driving to my normal business day. I heard them talking about Daily Income Source over the radio. So I picked interest. I got the number. I text. I think that day it was text something. Enjoy. Yes. So I was keen to really enjoy the ride with Daily Income Source. So I got there. I sat down. I listened to everything. Their seminar presentation was awesome, and the guys were very nice with me as a person. So at the end, I asked a few questions, and they answered me adequately. Then I shopped, and after shopping, they asked me to drop my account number, which was something I've never seen before. And I thought, is this for? I said, okay, let me just drop the account number. So I did. I left the account number with them. Got their product home. Their products were very awesome. The product, the beverages, everything were wonderful. Share with my neighbors, and they loved it. Then a few days later, I got an alert in my phone
As well
and
as people are shopping and
and it was from Daily Income Stores. So at that point, I was convinced that for real, this thing is legitimate. This thing is real.
It's real.
And people are actually making a lot of money at Daily Income Stores.
Okay, good. So I'm also going to ask Mr. Victor now to share his experience.
All right, thank you very much. My humble self, I actually heard about Daily Income Stores on radio. Actually, it was on a Saturday because I worked in one of the multinationals, and no, I don't work on Saturdays. So it was on a Saturday. I tuned to my radio. I heard about Daily Income Stores where you shop once, you drop your account number, you get paid as other customer shops after you. Of course, the first day I heard, I doubted it. I did not believe it. I was wondering how possible was it that you're going to shop, then you get paid as other customer shops from the same store. It was the second Saturday I heard about it again. I said, okay, a question came to me, have you not used toothpaste? I answered myself, I've used toothpaste. So why not go and see? I went to the program. On getting there, I saw that the products they actually had were all NAFDA certified, toothpaste, soap, beverages, things that we use every day.
Every day.
Of course, they are packed in hampers. I decided to pick an hamper for myself. Before I left, I dropped my account details. I got home, I told my wife about it. We used the product. It was awesome. Of course, I told all my neighbors and every other person. Wednesday, they did their shopping. But today, a few days later, I got an alert. I must confess to you that what I'm getting from Daily Income Stores today has been wow. I don't want to mention figures on the air. But for those that are listening.
They're looking at you. You know it's wow. And this has been consistent. As people have
as other people
shopped.
keep shopping from the same stores. Of course, so 2 years. That's what I'm saying. For 2 years now, it's not what it's
So
just
you've been
happening.
Daily Income money 2 years
Of
now.
course, of course, it's not new. That's why we are here in this city to tell the people about it.
So who can be part of the training?
Actually, we are expecting to see everybody. We are expecting doctors, engineers, commissioners, educated, not educated. As far as you are spending money every day, you deserve to make money every day from Daily Income Stores. At least everybody, of course, need an extra income. And definitely it's a one opportunity for you. I shopped 4 years ago. So I've been getting daily alert for the past 4 years. So you are doubting, come and see me at the venue of the program. And it's going to happen tomorrow, no African time. By 11 o'clock for the morning section. You cannot come by morning. We have the evening section by 4 p.m. It's an hour training. We have question time for question and answer. For those who want to actually do their shopping, you can do it at the venue of the program. You can pick your packages at the venue of the program. You can always drop your account number because bankers are always there for those who don't have account number to open the account. So we have free product for the first 100 participants. No more 10. But we normally have crowds in our program, so we're increased to 100 right now. So you're interested, just text the word enjoy. For those who want to enjoy in 2019, I think you're going to get me call the number. Please text the word enjoy.
Just text enjoy to this number
0803 7796097. Again, 0803 7796097. And for the last time, 0803 7796097.
Okay, so I know that this is fantastic. I mean, you said you've been with it 2 years, you had 4 years, you last year, and then it has been awesome. But as we all know, with every business, there's got to be some risk to it. There must be something about the job that you must tell people that see you.
Okay. Sure. There's a risk involved. The risk involved is that if you shop from Daily Income Stores and no one else shop from that store, the store cannot pay us because
that particular store now.
That particular store. It's not Ponzi scheme, it's not cryptocurrency, it's not charity organization, it's not an NGO. This is a real business opportunity. So, but the question is that would there ever be a time people will not shop from the store? The answer is no. People keep shopping every day. For the past 7 years, this store has been in Nigeria. We are shopping every single day. And of course, the good news is that we get daily income. And I think let him say the final word because we're running out of time.
All right, go ahead. Let me have the final word.
For those sitting at home still doubting, is it real? Is it possible? I want to tell you, for 2 years now, I've been earning this money. The first day I heard, I actually doubted it. So for you to be part of this program, like we said, you need to text us enjoy to this number so that we can reserve a seat for you. The numbers
0803 7796097. Again, 0803 7796097. And for the last time, 0803 7796097.
like we said, you need to text us enjoy to this number so that we can reserve a seat for you. We are going to reply you accordingly.
And you did not tell us last year, John, all expense paid trip because you patronized this fellow.
Was he on the trip?
Yeah,
to
last year. All
Of
expense
course.
paid trip.
All
And
expense
this year
paid
he's
trip.
also coming. I saw his name already.
It's okay.
for those that want to be part of this program.
I love those of us who just came in to go.
That's a good one.
Let me get your last word, then.
All right, for me, I would like to say seeing is believing. Don't just sit back home and hear this program on radio and ask questions to yourself. If you have any question, just come to Daily Income Stores. Bring all the questions, bring all your reservations to Daily Income Stores. Everything will be taken care of.
Okay, for my own, the final word is that the difference between where you are right now and where you want to be tomorrow is action. You cannot always complain about the economy, you cannot always complain about the government, you cannot complain about everything. You have the right to take action, you have the right to take decision to do different things to get a different result. So if you want to be part of this event, program we have is for the first 100 people that will be at the program. Just send the word enjoy.
The numbers
0803 7796097. Again, 0803 7796097. And for the last time, 0803 7796097.
See you there. God bless you. Remain blessed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Hello, my name is Kanu Wanko, aka Papilo. For the latest and trending sports stories, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt.
We are great, we are born winners, shining bright like a star. The gift of God to Africa. FC Ifanyuba, united we stand, hand in hand, bringing glory to our land. Anye bundi meri, anye gadigide, football club Ifanyuba, anye bundi meri, Alhambra Warriors, football club Ifanyuba.
There's still room for greatness. No matter the stage, there's a bit of greatness in every man. There's power to rise. There's power to conquer. There's power inside. There's a gift of power in every man.
Be the greatest that we can be. We've got power to thrive. Be the champions, make history. Keep the greatness
Hello, my name is Kanu Wanko, aka Papilo. For the latest and trending sports stories, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt.
A very good evening to you all out there. Welcome to today's Sports Live, the second part of the show this lovely Sunday evening. The show is reaching you from the studios of your premium news talk and sports radio station. Today, 95.1 FM right here in Port Harcourt. Sunday, the 5th day of May 2019. And it's time to talk Nigerian football. Basically, the NPFL. And of course, you know already, Emeka Dena is my name. I'm here with the guys in the building. Victoria, he's right here. Victor, a very good evening to you and welcome to this loaded edition of the show.
Thank you so much, Emeka. Good evening to everyone listening. It's a beautiful Sunday to be here, even as we lead you through every single thing that will be happening in the Nigerian Professional Football League, as some fixtures have already kicked off. But the biggest one has to be between Enyimba and Enugu Rangers, as we'll also be keeping our eyes glancing through some of the European games, as we saw Manchester City drawing against Huddersfield.
Manchester United.
Manchester United, Manchester United drawing against Huddersfield, that has the third worst goal difference in Premier League history. So great to be here and great to talk everything Nigerian football.
All right, Chidubem and Jock is also in the building. Chidubem, good to have you on the show. A special day, massive game in Aba today.
I tell you, yesterday I was having a discussion with a friend, and he was talking about the fact that Nigerian Professional Football League might not be what he wants to put his interest in. And I told him that whatever you have in the EPL or wherever, we have it in the NPFL. Yesterday we saw Liverpool play out a 3-2 and enthralling 3-2 victory last night. And guess what? In the NPFL, we also go over to
Maiduguri, very difficult ground.
A 2-2 draw. I mean,
draw.
that tells you that whatever you can get in Europe, you can also get in the NPFL. It's been very exciting in the NPFL, I tell you. And today is going to be another day to ravel. I mean, lots of games. The biggest one of all, biggest game in anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world. I mean,
the biggest derby you can find anywhere.
Enyimba and
Rangers versus Enyimba. Much at stake between both teams. I tell you, it's going to be a cracker. Fireworks. If you are anywhere close to the Enyimba International Stadium, you have to make your way down there. I tell you, brilliant game is going to be this afternoon. It's already started. No goals yet, but I tell you that center is going to be all fireworks. Just stick with us as we give you the details.
All right, you don't get it better elsewhere. We'll be going back. We'll be going live to our bar for updates from that massive fixture, monster clash between Enyimba and Rangers, two teams who have won the NPFL a combined 14 times. They are the most successful sides as far as the league is concerned. 7 titles apiece for Enyimba and Rangers. First and second, as to speak, Rangers are top of the table, 6 points clear of Enyimba, and Enyimba follow right there, with 25 points. Rangers have 31 points right there, and of course, that fixture, there's everything to do with it. I mean, the bragging rights at stake is a derby fixture. Both teams want to make it to the playoffs. We will be going to the stadium to bring you live updates right there in Aba, including other venues where we have MPFL actions today. Rivers United are in Lagos.
They've considered already, I tell you. It's already 1-0, and Akunetu Chijoke has given the host the lead.
Why did you break my heart?
Unfortunate for Rivers United.
All right, so a goal already in that game at the Soccer Temple between MFM FC and Rivers United. Akunetu Chijoke has given MFM FC the lead in that encounter already. Very early goal right there. More on that to come on the show this afternoon. We'll also be talking about the Super Eagles. Gennaro Raw doesn't know whether to invite Samuel Chukwueze to the Super Eagles team heading to the AFCON or allow him play the Under-20 World Cup, because his club, VRL, says Nigeria should not use him in both tournaments, and the man is confused. They're talking about Gennaro Raw. He's also confused as to who will be his captain for the AFCON. John Obi Mikel is here to play for Nigeria after the World Cup last year, and of course Ross says he'll be heading to Middlesbrough to speak with the man to see if he can convince him to come back to the national team. The Flying Eagles are playing Saudi Arabia today in an international friendly. God willing, we'll bring you updates from that one. And of course, like you heard already, the European updates will be coming your way. Manchester United could only draw 1-1 with Huddersfield Town. Relegated team already. They need to win to keep title top 4 hopes alive, but they couldn't get the result, and they might just be missing out of the top 4 eventually. Chelsea seem to have sealed their place in the top 4 with a 3-0 spanking of Watford at Stamford Bridge earlier this afternoon. And of course, more updates will be coming your way on the show, but the important thing is that it's not all about us, it's basically about you. So feel free to share your thoughts with us as far as the show is concerned. Send us text or WhatsApp messages at 070-1933-9962. That's 070-1933-9962. For those of you in Aba who would like to get updates from you, especially those in the stadium watching the Enyimba Rangers encounter, I want to hear from you what you make of that massive fixture between those two giants of Nigerian football right there at the Enyimba International Stadium. Feel free to call in and send your reports as we have. But of course, we also have our men on ground there to give us a first-hand update as far as that match is concerned. But like you heard, still goalless in that encounter. But over there in Lagos, a goal already. Rivers United have conceded. They scored 3 here against Rangers on Thursday, but they have conceded 1 already today against MFM FC. Maybe they can come back like Goran did yesterday. Goran playing at a 2-2 draw with El Kanemi with us in faraway Maiduguri. There was also another match yesterday. We missed out on that one.
Yes, Insurance. They played out a goalless draw. Their 10th draw.
No,
of the
before
season.
you call Insurance, say the draw specialist Insurance.
Or CrossFit United. They found a way
All right.
to...
No other team in the MPFL has drawn more matches than Bendel Insurance. 10 draws already in the league. They played at home at the Uniben Sports Complex and they were able to draw yet again against Niger Tornadoes. Goalless, it ended right there. So two matches yesterday.
Aqua United are in trouble. They've considered.
Wow, amazing, unbelievable. All right, very soon we're going to those venues to get updates as far as those games are concerned. Goals coming in already in the matches for today. But we have 10 matches today, 5 in Group A, 5 in Group B. Very soon we'll be going to the featured match. But let's see if we can go to the Gospel Akpabio International Stadium for the update. We hear National United have scored against Aqua United right there in Uyo. And of course, I'll be crossing over to that stadium, hopefully to talk to Promise A-Team, our friend in Uyo there, to give us updates on that one. But that's not looking good at all for Aqua United. But Victor, trust them to bounce back, right?
Not really at this point in time. Looking at how Aqua United have struggled in recent times, we saw how they struggled in the FA, in the State FA Cup.
They played
boys. Eventually, they found a way to win that particular one. But Aqua United seem to have deepened in form. We expected that with the return of their star man, their talisman, Mfonudo, this team will bounce back. But it looks like it's been sorry times for them. I'm pretty sorry for their coach Rafael Everton, because the man looks like he's doing all he can right now. It looks like he seems to have run out of things to do. Sometimes I keep looking at the lineups and he's trying to play them in different ways, trying different positions, but it doesn't seem to be working. It doesn't seem to be getting him the good the 3 points that he needs. Let's just see how they bounce back. Aqua United, I personally say this, whenever they concede, they find it very, very difficult to bounce back. I think it has a way of affecting the team's morale. Let's just see if today that would not be the same. That should not be the case. That the goal that Nassau United has scored would not be the determining factor of how this match would end. But if you put everything aside, you want to say Aqua United, they have a slim chance, a possible chance of getting at least a point in this particular match. But of course, when you're talking about the MPFL, you have to talk about going away from home. Aqua United are playing away from home. They're playing at home. So the fact that Nasarawa United got a goal away from home, good one, big one for them. Let's just see how they would be able to maintain it. And you've got to say, Aqua United, they have their fans.
No, they haven't. I just want to say that Aqua United are in problem, because I'm looking at the table now, and the Kanu Pillars themselves, they are playing at home. If they get a victory today, they move to just 1 point behind Aqua United. Nassau United themselves have gone even. If the scoreline stays this way, if it comes a result, Nassau United would have gone even with Aqua United on points. If Anyuba are locking someone in 4th position, so it's going to be very, very dicey for Aqua United if they manage to draw points at home, because we know how things work in the APFL. Going away from home to get points can be very, very difficult. True. So if they manage to draw points today or lose today, next week we might be seeing, or even midweek, because we have games midweek, we might be seeing a situation where Aqua United might slip out of the playoffs position. Will be very terrible for them.
All right, that's the latest coming in there. Nassau United in front in Uyo against Aqua United. Elsewhere, we have MFM FC leading Rivers United by 1-0. That one is going down at the Soccer Temple in Lagos in Group A of the NPFL. Chidibem, let's go to the featured game. I've been trying to get across to our man in Uyo, but of course his number not going through right there. But in the meantime, let's go to Aba, where Enyimba are up against Rangers. Goalless in that encounter, early days yet. But of course, talk us through the team list of both sides right there.
Yes, for the team list, Enugu Rangers versus Enyimba, that's about the biggest game, like I said, anywhere in the world, if you ask me. And Enyimba, they've got a strong lineup today. In the goalkeeping position, no prizes for guessing. It's Theophilus Afelohi who mans the sticks for them today. Andrew Abalogu is in defense, as well as Ifeanyi Anemena, Nelson Ogbonnaya, Nasir Sani, Thomas Zenke, Farouk Mohammed, Austin Aladapo, yes, the brainy midfielder there, Stanley Dingba, Joan Marie Guerra, as well as Bashir Abdurrahman up front. In the substitute lineup, we've got Fatal Daudas, the substitute goalkeeper there, Stephen Mayo, Stanley Okorom, Dari Olatunji, Chinedu Odeha, Joseph Osadiaye, as well as Chinedu Udechuku. For Rangers, They've got a very, very strong lineup here. We've got Nana Bonsu in goal, the ever-present Nana Bonsu. Tokwe Olusheshi is there as well. Isaac Lute, Tony Shinanga, Pape Usmani, Seka Pascal, the man whose red card was rescinded last week, the one he got against Bendel Insurance. Shiamaka Madu, he just got word yesterday. He said, I do on the altar. Congrats to him there. Isiaka Oladuntoye is also there as well. Godwin Aguda, Solomon Okpako, as well as Emeka Oyagweke, who comes in for Uchebo, who went out injured in the last fixture. On the substitute bench, we've got Jafet Opubo, Ajani Ibrahim, Ifeanyi Egwim, Oke Odita, Ifeanyi George, Seniu Ladi, as well as Felix Obuke.
All right, those are the two set of starting 11 there for Enyimba and Rangers right there in Aba. And like I said, they're still goalless in that encounter. Massive fixture in the MPFL. The game is about 90 minutes old already. What do you make of that fixture, Chidubem, and how big is it for you?
Well, we can go on talking about how big that fixture is. I tell you, it's the Classico of Nigeria. And the good thing about this fixture at this particular point is that both teams are first and second on the table. And it makes it even more enticing because the two teams have equal... Yes, the bragging rights is there to fight for, but also they've got something to fight for aside the bragging rights. It's not a situation where one team perhaps is just the mid-table and has nothing to lose. Yes, you want to say that Enugu Rangers are currently 6 points clear of Enyimba, but then you want to think that if they manage to lose today against Enyimba, that gap they thought was nobody could breach. It would become just 3.
Emeka, I have to interrupt him. The goals are pouring in. All of a sudden, Enyimba are 2 goals up.
Are you kidding?
Against Enugu Rangers. Katsina United are 2 goals up against Remo Stars. Sunshine Stars is 1 goal up against Wiki Tourist. I don't know how this is.
Tell me somebody threw the ball into the back of the net.
In 18 minutes, while we get the goal confirmation of the scorers, this is a massive one. First of all, in the star match,
well,
Enyimba getting 2 goals.
If you thought that conceding 3 against Rivers United was a fluke, maybe Enugu Rangers are beginning to tell you that they know how to concede goals.
2 goals in 4 minutes.
Goals are plenty.
Because the first goal came.
It's amazing.
The first goal came in the 14th
unbelievable.
minute. Wow, amazing for Enyimba. It came from Ifeanyi Anemena.
Okay,
the first goal came
in
in the 14th minute from Ifeanyi Anemena, and the second goal came in the 18th minute. The confirmation of the goal scorer still ongoing.
Wow.
All right. So Enyimba leading by 2 goals to nothing already in Aba quite early in that encounter, and we'll cross over to the Enyimba International Stadium. The one and only Fisayo Dairo, the Nigeria football expert, is right there at the Enyimba International Stadium. Fisayo, tell me it is not true that Enyimba lead by 2 goals to nothing.
I'm sorry to disappoint you. It is not 1-0. After 18 minutes, it's Enyimba 2, Rangers 0. Right there at the Enyimba International Stadium.
Amazing. Tell us about the goal scorers and how they were able to do that this early.
Yes, the first goal came on 14 minutes, courtesy of the one that scored Virgil van Dijk of Nigerian league. Ifeanyi Anemena was left from Max inside the box and he headed over the kick from the right by Thomas Benke. Of course, that was good word for Enyimba, who have indeed had a lively start to the game in terms of possession. And just 4 minutes later, they were able to double their lead, and it's that man against Thomas Benke who on the left and sent in a square play inside the box. Jean-Marie Guella, the Benenoa International, having a rest start for Enyimba, and the therefore selected and bubbled on just beyond pineapple soon. And Enyimba comfortably ahead 2-0 right there in Aba against Rangers.
Fisayo, this same Rangers side went 13 matches unbeaten before they were stopped by Bendel Insurance. On Thursday here in Port Harcourt, they were beaten 3-0 by Rivers United, and quite early in the game in Aba, they have considered 2 goals already. What is going wrong with Rangers?
I think for someone like me, it's expected. The moment they lost to Insurance, I felt they took the game in a row. And talking about this, comparing this game to the Rivers United game, they made quite a number of changes to that United game. They brought in like the Tokwe Oluseyi, Isaac Lute, Isiaka Oladotoye, Pastor Seka, all starting this particular game, but it has not affected any change. Remember, they are on an 11-match unbeaten run as well. So it's not surprising to me.
All right, Fisayo, finally, before we let you go for now, what's the atmosphere like in the stadium? Have the fans turned out for this one? It's a massive fixture.
Absolutely, the fans have turned out. In fact, the moment I got to the stadium around 1 o'clock, I saw an atmosphere close to a continental game. The whole place was well marshaled by security operatives, and it gives you the aura that a big game is being expected. And I must tell you, despite the gate being collected, I mean the tickets being collected for 300 for popular side and 1,000 for VIP, something close to 15,000 already in the stadium. Not just through the capacity, but I tell you, the whole place is really buzzing.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you so much for saying that. The MPFL expert will be coming back to you in the course of that encounter. In the meantime, thank you for joining us from Aba.
It's my pleasure.
All right, 2-0 already in favor of Eyimba over visiting Rangers in Aba. It's looking like a one-sided affair already, Victor.
Yes, definitely. First of all, Benga Ogumbote should be very, very worried. We saw Enugu Rangers. We kept on wondering, okay, who would stop them? And right now, they just seems to be. It seems like when they lost to Benden Insurance, every single team saw the lapses of Enugu Rangers. They saw the deficiency of that particular team, and they were able to take advantage of it. Initially, the blame was on the talisman, Seka Pascal getting a red card. The coach said if Seka Pascal didn't get a red card, the match would have turned out differently. They came over all the way to Rivers State right here, and our very own Rivers United defeated them 3-0. The coach said, allegedly said, let me put it that way, that thank God it has nothing to do with the position, with Enugu Rangers' position on the table. And it looks like this man has not been doing his assignment. When you go back home, when a team defeats you, you're expected to go back home, do your homework, know why they defeated you, know why they defeated you, know where you got it wrong in your squad, and try to beef up the particular angle. But it's not the same here. We're looking at the defense of Enugu Rangers seems to be pretty shambolic in recent times. I mean, and Enugu Rangers, I'm wondering, the same Enugu Rangers that were on 13-match unbeaten run, we saw them, they had quite a lot of goals, a number of games rather at hand.
They have played all of them now.
Now they've played all of them, and right now it seems like we were expecting to see them finish comfortably at the top of that table, but it looks like it's going to be it's a different case entirely. Pretty disappointing for Gbenga Ogumbote for his entire side, but for Eyimba, I've got to say big ups to them. That, I mean, the Aba fans will be thrilled. I can imagine the atmosphere right there over there at Aba. They will be ecstatic knowing that team is doing the bidding against an Enugu Rangers. You said it at the beginning of the show. These are the two teams in the Nigeria Professional Football League. They have seven titles apiece. That's 14 titles between the both of them. So the rivalry is a very, very fierce rivalry between the both of them. They want to know who is the best MPFL team in the country, and that rivalry is something that propels them anytime, any day. But not just the rivalry, they are also fighting for top of the table position, and right now it looks like Eyimba may have just closed the gap between themselves and Enugu Rangers.
All right, quite early, but Chidubem, do you expect Rangers to bounce back in this encounter? They trailed by 2-0 after just 26 minutes.
If you rise off Enugu Rangers in a continental, in an Oriental derby, then I think you're doing yourself no favor, because Enugu Rangers themselves, they've shown us this season that they know how to come back. We've seen it severally in the MPFL this season, home or away. They know how to bounce back when they go down in matches, and I wouldn't be writing them off against Eyimba. Eyimba themselves, yes, they've managed to grind out results in recent times, but it's not been like they've been so convincing in their matches. The goals have not been coming. In fact, this when the two goals came, you could see the shock on our faces, because we didn't expect it to come in such fashion. Eyimba, yes, they've got quite a good defense, so it will be quite difficult for Enugu Rangers to get the goal, but they've got Seka Pascal there, who's been in a rich vein of form recently. He's got 4 goals in 5 matches. Quite brilliant for him there. He wants to fancy his chance in this one to perhaps get the goal. Uchebo is missing. That's another person who brings a lot of drive on the flanks. He knows how to run and cause troubles, but he's not there for this one, injured. But you want to think that with what they've got, Aguda is there as well. Brasillas is missing, but with what they've got on hand, I think they are able to bounce back in this one. But if you ask me, I think the game is still there's still a long way to go. A lot of time to be played in this one. Over 70 minutes to be played in this one. That's a lot of time for anything to change. I think we should be expecting drama in that center. The fun about the 2 goals that came early is that it gives us enough time to expect a lot from Enugu Rangers, and I think those goals will come. It might come from both sides, but one thing I'm certain is that Enugu Rangers will definitely find their way back into this one. Perhaps not get a point, but they are going to make Eyimba sweat for the points today.
All right, Chidubem believes Rangers will not go down today without fighting. They currently trail Eyimba 2-0 in Aba after 28 minutes. Of course, as at 18 minutes, it was already 2-0. Ifeanyi and Nemanja putting Imba in front right there. Elsewhere, Ifeanyi have scored against Delta Force. They lead by a goal to nothing. FC Ifeanyi lead Delta Force in the Navy by a goal to nothing. Kano Pillars Plateau United is another massive fixture in faraway Kano, right?
Yes, definitely. It's somewhat of a northern derby, you've got to say. And when we know, one thing I enjoy particularly with the northern sides is their fan base. We see the fans, we hear the fans come out in mass to support their team. And right now, Kano Pillars, of course, they are also they're giants, let me put it that
Definitely.
way. Definitely.
I mean, 4 times winners of the league.
Definitely. And
they won it back to back from 2012 to 2014.
Amazing for Kano Pillars. And right now, they are contesting against a Plateau United that have been pretty decent this season. You expect that one to also be a tough one.
All right, let's quickly cross over to the Gospel Akpabio Stadium in Uyo, the nest of champions. We are Aqua United, currently still trailing Nasarawa United. Promise A-Team is live right there. Promise, good to have you on the show this evening.
Bros, how are you there now?
I'm fine, my brother. How your side?
It just vanished.
What is happening in Uyo? I hear Nasarawa United are leading Aqua United by a goal to nothing.
Goal scored in the 10th minute of the game. Goal error. Some sort of midfielder, Marcel Johnson. Gave a pass to the goalkeeper.
Is it an equalizer?
No, that's not. That's just a miss by different from 6 yards.
Okay.
So, the goalkeeper in the mid to clear his lines, kicks the ball to the back of the opposing striker who headed into the empty net.
All right, but do you expect Aqua United to bounce back? They have all it takes to do so, right?
They're trying their best, trying all the pressure they could at this point. But I think they need to step up their game. They need to really see if they can get something out of this. But as it stands now, I think Aqua United are actually under pressure. And I sense exactly what the players are feeling now. Even the bench as well. Going down in less than 10 minutes at the start of the first half is nothing anybody would pray for.
Can they afford to lose today at home, knowing that El Academy Warriors are now top, a point clear? And of course, National United can even take them in second position as well. Will they win?
that would be suicidal. that would be some suicide mission for them in the next 5 matches. So I think all they need to do exactly at this point is to try their best and get back to this game and perhaps get to win. But all the same, I must tell you that there's tension here. Let me be very honest with you.
All right. Thank you so much. I promise A-Team from the Gospel Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo. We are Aqua United are still trailing 1-0 at home to visiting Nasarawa United. They missed an opportunity to draw level in the Frek. If you're one of their top scorers this season, missing from close range right there. And of course, like he said, that would be suicidal for Aqua United to lose today at home. It could affect their chances of making it to the playoffs eventually.
True. When you look at the people behind you, you have to be scared. When you have Kano Pillars, Ifeanyi Uba, and of course Nasarawa United, who've been in a rich vein of form. We can't forget that last weekend they managed, or last 2 weeks ago now, they managed to trounce the highly rated Academy Warriors by 5 goals to 1. Massive one they were able to pull there, I tell you. In fact, nobody saw that one coming. It was massive, and if you have this kind of things behind you, you have to be scared. Aqua United themselves, they've shown the Aqua United, they've proven to be a little bit shaky in some fixtures where they managed to concede quite a number of goals in some venues. But,
all right, sorry to the payment. I will have to stop you there because I have my friend from the Soccer Temple in Lagos, the one and only Dumnodi Okonta from Channels TV. Dumnodi, good to have you on the show this evening.
Well, it's just 22 minutes of play. It's MFM 1, Rivers United 0, goal scored by a penalty by Chijoke Akuneto. But so far, it's a free kick to Rivers United on the edge of MFM 18. But let's see if that can be converted to give to draw level. But if it doesn't, then that means we are approaching a situation where Rivers United will have to play very hard. But then it is declared that opponent. Oh, that was very close.
All right, very close, but of course it didn't enter. Still 1-0 in favor of MFM. Dumnodi, let me break your heart a bit. In Aba, Rangers are trailing 2-0, and Rangers is a club that is close to your heart.
Well, it's still okay. as it is stands, Rangers are still on top.
No doubt.
Whether you like it or not, they are going to be among the top 3 people that will play the playoff.
We'll wait and see.
That is very key. Whatever you finish now does not matter. Because what happens at the end of the day is whenever the playoffs start, whoever eventually wins the playoff eventually become the champions of the league.
All right, Dumna, there was the atmosphere like right there in the soccer temple. Did the fans come out to watch this one at all?
Well, just fairly 40% of the entire stadium, or 5% of the entire stadium that is covered. But then it's not as much as we expected when Rangers came to town, Iba came to town, when Insurance also came to town, when Louis Stars also came to town. It was not as much as maybe Rivers United does not ring bells in the ears of the fans.
Maybe the fans are watching Arsenal.
No, not likely. There was a big game on that day. They Iba played, there was a big game on that day. And people still came to watch the game.
All right, thank you so much.
As the game progresses, we'll start to see fans trooping to watch the game.
Hopefully.
Just 35% of the stadium that is here.
All right, thank you so much, Dumnodi Okonta, right there at the Soccer Temple, the Agege Township Stadium in Lagos, where MFM currently lead Rivers United by a goal to nothing. 5th minute goal there from Chijoke Akuneto, one of their top. It should be their top scorer for this season. He scored from the spot there to give them the early advantage in that encounter. Still 1-0 in that fixture. Elsewhere, Katsina United 2 goals to nothing against Remo Stars, and of course, the Kwara United are playing against Lobby Stars. Any updates from that fixture, guys?
No, still no update from that fixture yet. Still goalless. MFM currently lead Rivers United, like we told you. Sunshine Stars is now 2-0 against Wiki Tourists. And Kano Pillars, yes,
against Plateau United.
They've gotten the goal against Plateau United. They lead 1-0. Eyimba still 2-0, as we told you earlier. Aqua United 3-1 Go round. They played yesterday, as well as Heartland of Owerri now.
Heartland are playing today against
goalless against Yobe Disasters. And if Yoba, like we told you earlier,
1-0 up against Delta Force.
And same Misugida, they just got that goal. It's a goal
against Plateau United. Who scored for them?
United. The goal scorer, confirmation shortly. I won't bet against Rabiu Ali, but I'll get confirmation shortly.
All right, wait for Chidibun to confirm the goal scorer for Kano Pillars in that fixture against Plateau United. They lead by a goal to nothing right there in Kano. But let's cross over to Ilorin right now to get update from the one and only Kola Daniel. Kwara United versus Lobby Stars. Kola Daniel, how is that game panning out?
It has been a close contest here at the Kwara State Sporting Complex between Kwara United against Lobby Stars Football Club Macaulay. A match that started with the two teams showing good football artistry. But it was Kwara United who had the first clear chance at goal after 6 minutes of play. But the effort of the man in question, talking about 40 or more Waneri, former player of Shas FC, couldn't convert that chance of ease. As I speak with you presently, still goalless draw. Austin Egbe, former goalkeeper of MFM of Lagos, that started the match for Lobby Stars, is no longer in the field of play. He's injured presently. Charles Tembe, Cameroonian international, is now in goal for Lobby Stars Football Club. As it stands right away, Kwara United is actually pressing hard to get the first goal of the match. The first line of Lobby Stars, led by no other player. I'm talking about the skipper of the day. I'm talking about Solomon Kwambi, has been resolute in the defense line. But Kwara United is actually giving them a run for their money. The first chance, another chance for Kwara United now. Can they convert it? It has been chances upon chances for Kwara United here at the Sporting Complex. Ilorin, but none have been converted so far. Sikar Alimi, that was the goalkeeper of Kwara United in a limbo situation where he tried as much as he can to beat the keeper on 3 occasions before sending the ball inside the net. But according to the AR1, who ruled for offside. But as it has still goalless draw, at the Kwara State Sporting Complex.
Thank you so much, Kola Daniel, for your electrifying commentaries right there. And of course, I heard it from him. Still goalless between Kwara United and Lobby Stars. More updates coming through, Chidubim.
Not particularly an update. I did tell you that the goal scorer would. I guess it was going to be Rabiu, but yes, he had something to do with the goal. He got the assist, as a matter of fact, and it was Alassane with the goal, not Rabiu Ali this time. And the Enugu Rangers, Benga Obungote, seems to have tweaked the squad a bit. He's brought in Ifeanyi George for Ayogweke, who was supposed to step in for Uchebo. It seems he's seen something that perhaps could change the fortunes of the game. So Ifeanyi George has come in the first half, as early as the 19th minute, came in for Emeka Ayogweke in that one. I hope it works out for him.
All right, so but it's still 2-0 in favor of Eyimba right there. In about more updates coming through in the MPFL in England. Of course, earlier today it ended 3-0 in favor of Chelsea against Watford, but Man United could only draw 1-1 with relegated Huddersfield Town, jeopardizing their chances of finishing in the top 4 in the Premier League. What a result for United today.
Terrible, you want to say, against Huddersfield already relegated. I said at the beginning of the show that Huddersfield...
You are the first team to be relegated this season.
Eyimba will beat Huddersfield. And I said at the beginning of the show that Huddersfield, they have the third worst goal difference in Premier League history. Even as we see in the match between Arsenal and Brighton and Hove Albion, Arsenal have been awarded a penalty, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang seems to be the man to take this penalty. Let's just see how it pans out for the Gunners. But I'm talking about the Manchester United match. Pretty disappointing. We saw them lose balls. We saw them they were reckless with their possession, and of course, beautiful goal by Brighton and Hove Albion. Even as Pierre-Emerick
it sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, and of course, Arsenal are in front. 1-0 courtesy of that man from Gabon. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang converting from the spot after just 9 minutes. So Arsenal lead by a goal to nothing against Brighton.
Talking about penalties, yes, Aqua United got a penalty, and that man Unfonodo stepped up to convert it. It's 1-1 in the Nest of Champions.
Wow.
Level.
The comeback is complete there for Aqua United. Of course, they've drawn level with Nasarawa United. Unfonodo, that should be his 9th goal of the season. Of course, he was out for some time with injury his back, and he's drawn them level at the moment against visiting Nasarawa United, who took an early lead in that encounter. 1-1 in Uyo between Aqua United and Nasarawa United. 2-0 in Aba in favor of Eyimba against visiting Rangers. 1-0 in favor of MFM FC against Rivers United right there at the Soccer Temple in Lagos. And of course, more updates will be coming your way, even as Arsenal just scored against Brighton and Hove Albion right there in the Premier League. Of course, expected comeback for Aqua United. Do you see them going ahead to eventually win this one?
Yes, I do. When you play at the Nest of Champions, and of course, you know, like I said, the chasing pack are on your neck, so you definitely have to get the results. Nasarawa United, they are in quite a good form. That demolition against the El Kanemi, who also found a way to draw at home again. He didn't do them many favors anyways, but Nasarawa United, they found some form, and they would fancy their chances in the top 3. They are quite doing well currently in the third spot. They want to look for how to squeeze themselves into that playoffs position, somewhere they wouldn't have dreamt of some 5-6 weeks ago, but it's a good thing they are where they are now. Aqua United, I think they are going to... They've come back already. I think they are going to get the second goal up and perhaps a third goal to kill it off. So for me, I think it's going to be a straight home win for the home team.
Straight home win for the home team, Aqua United. The promise keepers, according to Chidubem Njoko. But at the moment, it's 1-1 between those two sides, Aqua United and Nasarawa United. One of them will be disunited today after 90 minutes. And of course, let's talk about Katsina United. They lead Remo Stars by 2-0. Remo Stars could just be relegated in the next 2 matches, right?
True, they really can, and I'm pretty disappointed for Remo Stars, looking at how they've found out this season. We expected that when we saw them, they were part of the teams that got promoted to the MPFL, and we believed that they were going to do something amazing in the MPFL.
All right, so quickly, sorry Victor, let's go to Uyo, because our man Promise A-Team is live right there at the Gospel Akpabio International Stadium, where we understand Aqua United are now level with visiting Nasarawa United. Promise, good to have you back on the line.
Yeah, good to have you too, Mega.
All right. Tell us, we hear Aqua United equalized through Mfonodo. Tell us more about that goal. Promise, tell us about that penalty. Was it a good call or a controversial penalty? Clear penalty. All right. Because we've had cases where penalties, dubious penalties, were awarded to teams, and at the end of the day, they protested and all that. You say it's a good penalty. I will trust your judgment. Thank you so much. 1-1 right now. Do you see Aqua United eventually winning this match?
Let them just sit down so that they are trying to get something out of this game.
All right, thank you so much. I promise A-Team from the Gospel Akpabio International Stadium. He says it's a good penalty, nothing controversial about it at all. And of course, we know how controversial penalties could be in Nigeria.
True.
Yes, Rivers United drew at home about 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago against Sunshine Stars, and they blamed, officiating poor, dubious penalty, for that. And of course, we don't want such to happen anymore in the MPFL. Eyimba running away with the Oriental Derby against Rangers. That game is approaching halftime. They still lead by 2-0 in Aba. Kashina United 2-0 up against Remo Stars.
Make that 3-1 now, because Victor Chidume was able to pull one back for Remo Stars, but before he could blink twice, Tasiu Lawa scored the second, and is now 3-1.
Wow. Castina United lead Remo Stars by 3-1. 4 goals already, and it's not even halftime in that encounter going down in Casina. I tell you, the MPFL, very, very exciting. Lots of goals today in the league, and of course, we are really excited about that. Kwara United still battling hard to score against Lobby Stars today. It's still goalless in that encounter. MFM FC still 1-0 up against Rivers United. Elsewhere in the league, Sunshine Stars also getting it right against Wicked Tourists, right?
Yes, 2-0.
All right, let's go to Group B and bring you updates from Group B. We are Aqua United are now playing at a 1-1 draw with Nasarawa United. Nasarawa United went in front before Mfonodos converted a penalty to put the Promise Keepers on level terms right there. Gombe United versus Abia Warriors is a battle for survival. Any update from that fixture?
Goalless
in Gombe. Ladamboso against his former side, and of course, is still goalless in that encounter. Both teams are in the relegation zone, and they need the points desperately to escape the drop this season. Tell me about Heartland and Yobe Disasters in Okigwe. Any update from that fixture, guys?
Nothing to cherish yet. It's still goalless.
Obina won't like the sound of that one just yet.
I think it's a very terrible one for Heartland FC. The fact that they are playing right there in their home stadium against a Yobe Disasters that has been pretty disappointing this season. I believe Yobe Disasters should be the bottom of
Group B,
Group B table, and Heartland FC of Owerri cannot do something against them.
It's not over until it's all over.
Of course, but by now we expect it. I personally expect a thrash.
They would have scored 4 or 5 goals.
True. At least 2 goals. But against Heartland FC.
All right, so it's still goalless in that encounter. If I still lead Delta Force by a 0-0. Kano Pillars 1-0 up against Plateau United, right?
Yes, 1-0.
All right, and of course, yesterday in Group B, El Academy Warriors were held to 2-2 draw at home by Goran FC of Omoko. And of course, also in Group A yesterday, Bendel Insurance did what they know how to do best. That's draw. 10 draws now for them. They were held at home by Niger Tornadoes in Bini. 10 draws, and they are looking like they want to go back to where they came from.
Yeah, of course. So it's quite unfortunate when you consider all that the government has pumped into that particular setup. It was one of the promises they made before coming into government that they were going to revamp Bendel Insurance and bring them back to the MPFL. They got that delivered, but it seems that...
I hope they will not be taking them back almost immediately.
It seems they'll be taken back to where they are coming from, but it's quite unfortunate. Even with the support of the Deputy Governor, it seems it hasn't come to fruition per se, but there's still time, 5 games to go. They could still pick up points from those 5 games and, of course, seal their place in the MPFL this season.
I just have to talk about this Bendel Insurance side. I was one of the person that was pretty excited seeing them return to the Nigeria Professional Football League after a decade of absence. I mean, Bendel Insurance are normally they're normally a traditional side in the MPFL, and they've not been around for 10 years, and eventually they got promoted to the MPFL. We expected, a lot of persons expected that, okay, they're going to do so well in this particular, I mean, it's taking them so long. They got Baldwin Bazwaye, that's their coach. He looks like he's a talker, a big talker, and I just wish he could match his actions with the way he talks, because when you hear him talk, you believe that Bendel Insurance, I mean, if you know nothing about the MPFL and you just listen to this man talk, you almost believe that Bendel Insurance should be maybe number 2 or number 3 in the group, in the table. But it's pretty sorry for them. Like right now, some children call them Okro FC because they keep drawing.
Draw specialists.
They keep
10 draws from 16, 17 matches now. 10 draws.
You could imagine. Pretty disappointing. If you want to fail, if you want to lose the match, but Bendel Insurance, they keep getting draws upon draws. But eventually, the draws might just see them edge out the relegation zone and eventually still stay.
All right, let's start talking about draws. It's goalless at halftime in the game involving Nigeria's under-20 side, the Flying Eagles, and Saudi Arabia. Yes, the halftime in that fixture, goalless. And of course, any moment from now, the second half will commence. Goalless in that fixture. Do you expect them to draw today?
Well,
they drew their last match 3-3. Are they becoming the draw specialists?
They could possibly draw that game, but It's still 45 minutes to play. A lot of time for things to happen. I'm sure some of the players will be cautious because nobody wants to get injured at this stage, especially the home based who see the World Cup as a stage to display their talent and of course auditioning for some big clubs. So I see a lot of caution in that one. But then goalless at this point, you can't bet against the goals coming in the second half.
All right, it's 1-1 in Newi, almost halftime in that fixture between FC Fanyoba and Delta Force. 1-1 in that encounter as things stand. Fanyoba took the lead before the Delta boys equalizer. So that looks like a surprising one too, Victor, right?
No.
Considering how Ifeanyoba started this season.
True. At the beginning of the season, we said, Ifeanyoba, oh my God, they were going to eventually finish top of the group, but eventually, at a point in time, we saw them, they began to decline, they began to drop, and it's been sorry times for them. But Delta Force, since the change of management from Kada City to Delta Force, they seem to have been getting the job done, and with the way they are going, they look like they would eventually remain in the MPF by the end of the season because they've been getting the job done whenever they play at home over there in Asaba, and right now they are playing away from home and they were still able. It's still a scoreline, not yet a result, but they were still able to get a result, get a goal rather. Let's just see if they can maintain that, maintain the scoreline as it is right now, or even press further and get more goals in that encounter.
All right, Chidubem, almost half-time in the fixture involving Sunshine Stars and Wiki Tourists, and the Tourists have pulled one goal back. It's 2-1 right now. Sunshine Stars leader Abauma giving Wiki Tourists the lifeline in that fixture. Can they eventually draw level?
Well, you really can't bet against Wiki Tourists. They are one team that I don't know. They could pull up surprises. We've seen them do it quite a number of times this season. Even here, University United, you can't forget that one where they came here. Although that game was shrouded by some controversies, but then they managed to get the point, I think, against Rivers United. So that's a team that can go away from home and get the point. They've gotten the goal against Sunshine Stars. It's Sunshine Stars that are quite ruthless in Akure, but somehow they managed to pull one back, giving themselves some lifeline in the second half. Perhaps they could come back and get a goal, but then I don't think Sunshine Stars will want to drop points at this stage when they have their eyes set on the continent.
All right, 2-1 in that fixture is halftime right there. And of course, I can also tell you for the fact that Aqua United lead Nassau United going into the break by 2-1. Earth Boy Akpan with the second goal there for Aqua United. And it's halftime in that fixture, and they're 2-1 up. Victor.
Big one for Aqua United. Definitely their home, for giving their home fans something to cheer about. Big for Aqua United. Let's see if they can make it. The fans want to see goals. For a while now, Aqua United they've not been having the gallery of goals that they've been having from the start of the season. Just edging out a few goals to the just with a goal difference or something like that. Right now, the fans would love to see a lot of goals. Right now, it's 2-1. Great by the team. Great one for Rafael Vatin, the fact that he was able to speak to the boys whenever he told them that the bounce
the comeback is complete.
I expect to see them do something more in the second half, maybe get more goals. I mean, you're playing in your home, you're playing in Akwa Ibom right there, maybe get more goals and let's see how it pans out.
All right, it's also halftime in the big game at the star fixture of the weekend in Aba, 2-0 in favor of Eyimba going into the break right there. Chidubem, your thoughts on the first 5 minutes of that encounter?
Well, it looked like Yimba came like a storm in the first 20 minutes, and Enugu Rangers did not know what was happening. Before they could open their eyes, they had two in the back of the net already, and it was probably too late to respond. The first half had to end that way, although you could give Enugu Rangers credit. That change, bringing in Fanny George, brought a little stability into the Enugu Rangers side, and somehow they found their footing back in that game. Getting some good opportunities at goal, but none of them has been able to be converted into a goal. But at 2-0, the scoreline still remains open. That's the good thing about the 2-0 scoreline. In the second half, just one goal and the fight is on. So I think for Enugu Rangers, it's not over yet. They've got a lot to do in the second half. Eyimba themselves who fancy where they are now, you would have dreamt of this position in an oriental derby. 2-0 in the first half. So massive for them, gives them a cushion going into the second half. But I think Enugu Rangers will come out guns all blazing because they know that they've got nothing to lose at this point. You're 2-0 down. I mean, what are you going to be scared of again? So bring out all the attacking fury you've got. Go against the Eyimba side, and of course we've seen them crack at home. We've seen Sunshine Stars go there, serve them some really hot football. and they managed to crack. Although in the second minute, although it was not enough to get all 3 points for Sunshine Stars, or even get a point, but then Enugu Rangers will also fancy their chances against this Enyimba side that have also considered 3 against Kwara United. So that tells you that they know how to consider goals when.
But that was away from home.
Yes, it doesn't matter. The defense is still the defense. So Enugu Rangers can as well get the goals. You can't bet against Enugu Rangers getting the goals. We've seen them this season score 5, score 3, so they can do it against Enyimba.
In the meantime, they're struggling to get one today in Aba. Enyimba lead by 2-0 at halftime in that fixture at the Enyimba International Stadium. Oriental derby between those two most successful sides in the MPFL. Halftime as well in Lagos, where Rivers United are playing against MFM FC Victor. MFM, the Church Boys in front right there, fifth minute goal there by Chijoka Koneto from the spot. The difference between those two sides at the break.
Well, big for Fidelis Lechuku. We saw MFM FC, they lost on their state FA Cup to a
box to box FC.
Box to box FC. Very funny name you want to say, box to box FC. They lost to them, and I believe I knew that immediately after that particular match, I said, okay, the team will be furious right now. The coach himself, they want to do the damage to anything that they face in the MPFL, and right now it seems that they are doing that to Rivers United. But let's see if they can maintain their lead. Rivers United, on the other hand, apart from the win against Enugu Rangers, which looks like the most convincing win that we've seen this season.
First time they scored 3 in 2 years.
We really haven't seen Rivers United play football that the Rivers-based fans would love to see. So I don't know how that particular match is going, but I feel that MFMFC, looking at the statistics released by the LMC, MFMFC seems to be the better side in that encounter. Rivers United, although getting 1 or 2 chances, but they've not been able to dig anyone into the back of the net. Let's see how the second half pans out. Let's see what Stanley Eguma will be able to tell the boys that would spur them up, and also for Fidelis Ilechuku, if his boys, the Church Boys, can eventually double or add more goals in that encounter. Rivers United next match will be against Enyimba.
Yeah, on Wednesday here in Port
Harcourt. Right here in Port Harcourt. So it's a big game. They really need to get everything right, because coming home to play Enyimba is going to be a big one. So really, the coach has got to do everything right, starting from this particular game. Start learning about Enyimba, start learning how they play, knowing what they do, and knowing how he's going to play against them, because that looks like the biggest match that they will be playing. That looks like a very big match rather. But let's see how the second half pans out between the both sides. Let's see if the Church Boys will be able to seal their victory.
All right, it's time to go to the phone lines right now to get your thoughts. First 45 minutes decided in virtually all the venues in the MPFL today, March day 16, right?
Yes.
March day 16, yeah, exactly. The first half encounters decided already. Let's bring you up to speed with what has happened at halftime at those venues. In Uyo, Aqua United lead National United by 1-0, the 2-1 at the break. Gombe United are still playing at a goalless draw with Abia Warriors in Gombe. Heartland FC and Yobe Disasters are battling it out goalless. Looks like they started that one a bit late, and it's still in the 35th minute right there. Heartland versus Yobe Disaster goalless right there. FC Fayoba 1-1 with Delta Force. Elsewhere, Kano Pillars lead Plateau United at break by 1-0. And we'll go to Group A, where Enyimba are 2-0 up against Rangers at halftime. Katsina United lead Remo Stars by 3-1. Kwara United versus Lobby Stars is yet to produce a goal. It's currently goalless in that encounter. And of course, we can also let you know that elsewhere in the league, MFM FC lead Rivers United by 1-0, while Sunshine Stars are 2-1 up against Wiki Torres. Let's quickly go to the phone lines right now to hear from you. All you need to do to be part of this discussion is to call those numbers. I will be reading out in a jiffy. And of course, turn down the volume of your radio set so you can talk to us live. 0817 0000951 0817 0000951. You can also reach us on the other number 0810 9510 951. That's 0810 9510 951. Let's get to hear from you. Hello. A very good evening to you. Welcome to today's Sports Live. Your name and the location.
My name is Food. I'm calling from.
You're calling from where?
All
right, let's hear you.
Yes, I'm very happy for the Enyimba scoreline. So far, so good. When Chidudem also was calling the Jaya is somebody who got married yesterday.
Yes.
Chiamaka Mado.
Does it mean they don't have any other capable hands to play the match or what?
He's a professional.
He's a professional. He decided to play.
They should have allowed the guy
To go on honeymoon. Maybe the guy doesn't want to go on honeymoon. All right. Thank you so much for your call. Let's go to the other caller. Hello. Oh, sorry, we lost that call. Really sorry about that. Alternatively, you can send us text or WhatsApp messages to 070-1933-9962. That's 070-1933-9962 for your text as well as your WhatsApp messages. Let's go back to the phone lines. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
A very good evening to you, Luis.
Okay. Seriously, you don't get any much interesting than this, but
your team, Aqua United, are doing well. 2-1 now against Nasarawa United.
My brother, go rain. Go rain. Seriously, go rain. They will regret going that 1-0. They will regret it. Seriously, they will regret it.
We'll wait and see.
Like, 2 more goals are going in the second half. But seriously, I really miss what is going on in Aba. I really miss what's going on in Aba. I just wish you can just pay some for money just for one day, but then the people live coverage from that one. But seriously,
unfortunately, they didn't do that.
Yeah. That's the government you're talking about.
All right, thank you so much. Let's leave it there, Luis. We have another call on the line. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
A very good evening to you. Welcome to today's Sports Live. Your name and your location?
Yeah, this is Engineer Yudi.
Engineer Yudi, good to have you on the show. Where are you?
I'm here in Port Harcourt.
All right. You didn't go to Aba to watch the big game.
No. I wish Rivers United will be able to get something from Lagos, because as you are saying that today, their next match is against the
Yimba on Wednesday. Here in Port Harcourt.
Yeah, these people might not be able to get anything there, because this Enyimba I'm seeing, possibility of Enyimba losing in Port Harcourt, I don't see it at all. So I wish Rivers United will bite it and make sure they win or get something from Lagos, because the possibility of them winning Enyimba here, I doubt. Thank you.
Engineer Yudi, thank you so much for your call as well. We lost that one. Send us text or WhatsApp messages to 070-1933-9962. Or you can also send us tweets at TodayFM951, at TodayFM951, or you tweet at me at Emeka Dana. I will read your tweets real time here on the show. The lines have been buzzing. Let's go back there. Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
A very good evening to you. Welcome to today's Sports Live. Your name and the location?
This is no photocopy from Rumigo.
No photocopy. Good to have you on the show. Talk to us.
Okay, I support Aqua United for this very one.
They are leading Nasarawa United by 2-1 at halftime.
Okay, that is a welcome development. Their coach, I gathered on their knees 2 days ago. Either their coach or their captain said they will fry those people.
It wasn't the freak if you understood it.
So when those people were leading them, I said, let me see how whether football is being played on paper or on the pitch. And it has a channel that anchor from paper to the pitch. I believe they will.
But they are matching West with action at the moment.
Okay, it's still ongoing. Okay, but like I was saying yesterday, you people should try and preach this thing for them to push this thing forward. At least a country like Nigeria is big and a wealthy country. We deserve to have one of these matches on television. Like I'm living in Port Harcourt now. There is no how I can go to you.
You can go now, you can travel, but I understand what you're saying. These matches are supposed to be on TV.
Yes,
After all, we watch the Premier League here in Nigeria, and it is not played here.
Yes, so another thing is under 17 boys. I think
we are not talking about them now. Thank you so much. No photocopy. Hello. Sheba for. Obina, go to have on the show. Talk to us.
Emeka for Yoga Desert to hold the millionaires up to this point. The best result they will leave with today in Okigo is a 3-goal match.
Never today we hear that. Go sit down. Go sit down.
rain, goals will pour.
Never only pour.
It will pour. Thank you.
Never only pour. What did they pour? Thank you so much, Obina. He's a Heartland fan, no doubt about that. His Heartland side are still battling to score a single goal today against Yobe Disasters, the worst team in Group B of the league. Heartland really struggling right there in Okigwe, still goalless in that encounter after about 42 minutes. Hello.
Hello, if I call it from Abba.
Good to have you on the show. Are you at the stadium?
Yeah, I know. I'm in my house.
Where can you? That is the best place to be at the moment. Is at the Enyimba International Stadium.
Commentaries. I'm ready.
And you can still be following us from the stadium.
Up
Aba.
Up Aba. We are expecting 2 more goals.
2 more goals. Okay, we are waiting. Thank you so much, Ifeanyi. Next time you can't be at home and be following this kind of match on radio. You should be, right there at the stadium, watching the action live. Guys, what are you expecting in the second half of some of the big fixtures for today? Kano Pillars lead Plateau United 1-0 at halftime. Rivers United are trailing 1-0 to MFM at halftime. Enyimba in the big one lead Rangers by 2-0. Any changes in the second half in terms of scoreline?
Well, for me, I think I really don't. First of all, starting with the MFM FC Rivers United match, I really don't see Rivers United doing something dangerous in that particular one. Best they will get from that encounter is a draw. 1 point from there. Maybe it would end 2-2, but I see it most likely ending 2-1 in favor of MFM FC. In the match between Enyimba and Enugu Rangers, just like Chidubem rightly stated. I mean, Enugu Rangers, we've got to see goals in that particular one. They would not just give up without a fight. We expect them to put up a fight against Enyimba, but eventually, I feel that Enyimba will get more goals in this encounter.
They didn't put up a fight against Rivers United. They were beaten 3-0 here. What makes you think they will be able to do that against mighty Enyimba?